Okay, next up we have Ryan Monroe, who's going to talk to us about Spondooli.
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to introduce to you the new way to learn the stock market, Spondooli. According to Standard & Poor's Global Financial Literacy Survey, 2 out of 3 adults are financially illiterate. This means, statistically, in a room with 3 adults, 2 of them do not understand simple concepts such as inflation, different types of interest, and risk diversification. Furthermore, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority found that from 2009 to 2021, there was a significant decrease in financial literacy. They came to this conclusion by asking a series of questions about topics including inflation, interest rates, and financial risk assessments to more than 25,000 individuals. You can see that, while even in 2009, the average respondent's knowledge was poor, by 2021, the average score was a measly 2.58 questions correct out of 5. Importantly, financial literacy is a key factor in reaching financial inclusion. Investopedia found that those who feel knowledgeable are more likely to feel confident when making financial decisions. Those who feel confident are more likely to engage daily with their personal finances, and those who engage daily are more likely to feel knowledgeable. Essentially, when someone becomes financially literate, they are set up for success. However, Investopedia also found that just 37% of affluent millennials do feel knowledgeable, breaking this important cycle. The way we will fix this problem is with Spondooli, an educational mobile game which tackles financial literacy issues. Spondooli at its core is a stock market and banking simulator, which provides access to the real stock market, but with the safety of fake money to trade with. Spondooli presents complicated financial topics in a fun and accessible way, empowering our users to reach financial literacy. Spondooli is designed to be just as useful for a high school student as it would be for a veteran investor. However, we've decided to isolate a primary starting market for us: education. The education market is rather robust, valued at $1.34 trillion in the United States alone, with thousands of high schools and universities. It would be at these high schools and universities, specifically those with existing financial literacy programs, and those in either New York State or my home state of Florida, that we would begin to provide a strong foundation before expanding out further. It is within this target market that Spondooli's potential has already been proven with a successful pilot program across 2 high schools with over 200 users, all of whom were taught with Spondooli's revolutionary new teaching system. You see, Spondooli teaches through the use of an informative avatar that guides the user through the ins and outs of the stock market and how to ultimately reach financial literacy and success. It is through this teaching system that our users gain knowledge not just through traditional methods, but through practical hands-on experience, which is integral to the true understanding of the stock market. Let's walk through the game's interface and see how you play. Mind you, these are not mock-ups, but rather real screenshots of the game running on my phone. First, when starting up, you get a $10,000 loan from the bank that you can use to make your trades. Then, you'll get walked through your first stock purchase, where you choose from a sector of your interest and begin to learn the ropes of the market. Once you've made your trade, you get to talk to the bank again, who walks you through how loans work and assigns you a credit score. It is upon this foundation when the game really starts. You make trades, pay off loans, and learn from your mistakes to improve your financial knowledge. At many points, Spondooli gives you tips and feedback based on your stock trading habits, such as with the portfolio breakdown screen, to keep you on track. Once you've made your riches, you can compare your earnings to your friends, classmates, and the whole world in the leaderboard. It is all these features that come together to create what is Spondooli's revolutionized gamified learning experience, increasing financial literacy accessibility for the future. Unlike existing alternatives, Spondooli strikes the harmony between a fun game and a robust learning tool. Most stock market simulators either trim the market down to its most basic components, providing a stripped-back experience, or just throw the user into the deep end, forced to figure it out all by themselves. Spondooli, by contrast, provides a guiding light through the dark forest that is the stock market, without blinding you of the real challenges reaching financial literacy requires to overcome. Spondooli does this through introducing topics at a deliberate pace as you learn, while keeping you engaged with a dynamic story that grows with your knowledge. As you make trades, pay off loans, and talk to the in-game characters, your progress is felt beyond simply growing your wealth and climbing the leaderboard. It is through this story mechanic that we intend to attract an audience beyond those directly interested in finance, who are often those who would benefit the most from financial literacy. In order to monetize this market, we've decided to go with a robust selling strategy targeting the schools themselves rather than students learning. During our successful pilot program, we were able to secure multiple contracts at a rate of $20 per student, granting us thousands in revenue. Mind you, this was in our initial release phase. Since then, we've made many improvements to our product, and thus feel even more confident asking our same $20 per student rate for our full release next year. At Spondooli, we've created and passed multiple milestones far ahead of schedule. As mentioned, we successfully launched a pilot program across 2 schools and have gained feedback from testers, students, and faculty from Harvard, RPI, and beyond. Furthermore, Spondooli has been demoed at the Harvard Computer Science 50 Fair, earned a semi-finalist position in the Diamond Entrepreneurship Challenge, and just last week was showcased in the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. Even though we've made significant progress to date, we always keep future goals in mind to have a growing vision for Spondooli. One of these future goals is the release of our premium version, Spondooli, targeting individual use to provide a secondary revenue stream for the business. By next year, Spondooli will be live in use in multiple educational institutions, and Spondooli will begin development. Regarding today's competition, we put together a plan to put any potential prize money to its best use. Our operating structure is rather lean. We broke even with just 2 schools in our pilot phase. Thus, a majority of the funds would go directly into marketing and outreach. Remaining funds would go into increasing the quality of our product, with many potential new ideas already on the drawing boards. Lastly, I feel it necessary I properly introduce myself. Hello, I am Ryan Chabot. I have been making games using Unreal Engine for over 10 years now, and I'm fully ready and able to deliver the product showcased to you today. In fact, I have it running right here. Furthermore, I have support from many expert sources, including Jim Malazita, Alexander Highland, and countless other talented individuals across many industries. I sincerely thank them all for their wisdom and support in the development of Spondooli. To the left is a QR code for our website, and to the right, a sign-up sheet if you would like to help form the future of financial education with me. It's been an honor to present to you all. Thank you for your time.
You said, so far your customers have been schools who are paying you for the students?
Yes, 2 high schools.
What is it for the schools? Why are they buying it for the students?
Well, a lot of, so financial literacy, as we mentioned, is a huge problem that affects pretty much everyone. So a lot of states, the governments themselves have been requiring financial literacy education in their platforms. And a lot of schools had to scramble to put together programs and find a teacher who's going to teach it quickly. One of those states is my home state of Florida, and they had a big long list of all these topics that have to be covered before someone graduates high school. So our Spondooli package covers about 1/4 of the financial literacy package in Florida, which is one of the strictest states. And that's just one software. You pay $20 for it, and it covers stock market, banking, financial management, risk analysis, data analysis. So it really provides an opportunity for the school to get a load off their back. Also, it's like, it works well with how the teachers teach, because we do have a teaching system in the game. But if the teacher already knows about financial literacy and wants to teach the stock market at their own pace, we have a teacher edition product, which allows them to customize Spondooli so they can disable all the teaching functions and just do the traditional.
How many competitors do you have?
Yeah, so there is Webull, there used to be Investor. Investopedia has a paper trading system. There's TradingView. A lot of them struggle with the problems that I mentioned, which is either they trim down the market too much and they make it overly simplified, too much of a game, like their stock market game. That really just is supposed to be a fun experience. Or they're proper paper trading with all the features, but they don't really provide guidance to the user, which is really great if you already know what you're doing. We want to have kind of a middle ground to be more accessible to a wider audience.
I had a question regarding like the, I guess, difference of implementation across like geographic locations. So if you have a high school that already has financial literacy, what's the value of this versus can you implement it in a place that has no financial literacy? Like what's the starting point for all these schools?
Right. So the school that I started with did have a pretty robust financial literacy program. But the stock market simulator that they use, which is called the Florida stock market game, was pretty limited. You just put in a ticker, you put in an amount of shares, and you press buy and track your earnings. Like it did the job, and it was really fun and inspired me to work on this project. But a lot of the programs do cover the core aspects, but I feel they don't keep students engaged. They don't keep students coming back, especially people who weren't already interested in finance. So there's a lot of opportunities with that. We have also looked to sell to schools that don't have financial literacy programs at all, and kind of help them write it, but that is more in a future direction. Once we get more experience, first we're going to start with schools that already have the existing programs.
Thank you very much.